All right, peace and blessings. Thank you for coming to the Triple Goddess Network. So, I am back. For those of you who are um, coming back to me from previous channels, I've had two other channels on YouTube, one previously also known as the Triple Goddess Network. And for those of you who know me, understand, or are kind of seeing how my method works as far as maintaining myself in longevity in order to continue to do what I do spiritually, to provide spiritual services for other people, it's important for me to take times where I step back and make sure that I'm doing my own inner work, making sure that I take the necessary time for cleansing, for healing, and just for doing the inner work that needs to be done. Because for me to first and foremost to do what I do successfully and to do it well and to meet the needs of the people that I service, it's important that I maintain myself to a certain level and degree in doing this spiritual work. If you're going to do it for any length of time, if you're going to maintain longevity in doing it, this will be my 11th year of having my business, Enchanted Divas. So in order to be in this spiritual business continually over these 10 years, if you're going to maintain longevity, it's my personal opinion, important for you to take the necessary time for yourself, and at different times within your spiritual walk and servicing the public, you will step back from certain things to make the necessary time and to allow yourself to recharge and to use that energy for yourself so that you can come back to your work refreshed. And so that's what I've been doing over the past year and a half or so that I did not have a YouTube channel. Yes, I still maintain my business, Enchanted Divas, and I had somewhat of a social media presence, very little, because I really did need to take that time to do the inner work for myself. What type of work was I doing? Well, I was doing a lot of ancestral work, a lot of generational work, a lot of generational trauma healing and work for myself. And yes, I was still taking clients at the same time. So I wanted to just start this video with that, because some of you probably been wondering, where have you been? You know, what have you been doing? And why are you back? Well, why am I back? Because Spirit has a way of bringing me right back. I like to also take that time that I kind of step away to connect with Spirit, to realign and recalibrate, and to always make sure that I'm on the right road and that I'm doing the right things. So in doing that, in that process of recalibrating, Spirit was very clear to me that they wanted me to maintain somewhat of a social media presence, because there are certain messages that they want me to bring forward and certain information that they want me to bring forward and connect with certain people. So here I am, because I'm here to foremost and always stay on my purpose. And doing this spiritual work, sometimes it's not easy to stay on your purpose. Sometimes it's challenging, and doesn't mean that the work isn't rewarding, doesn't mean that you're not supposed to do the work, just means that you have to do it and also always be willing to be self-reflective, be willing to look at where you can change and evolve what you're doing, taking the necessary time to step back so you can do the inner reflection, so you can come back to the work refreshed, and make sure that you're doing better and doing something greater, and taking those experiences that you had previous to that and applying them forward. So that's where I am here today. What I want to start talking about today is where we are astrologically. I like to pay attention to astrology, and especially kind of looking forward as we are still in the beginning of 2025. The number 9, when you add all of those digits together, you get the number 9. 9 is the number that deals with transformation. It deals with change. I like to think of the number 9 as also dealing with metamorphosis and evolving. It deals with completion of a cycle. So this is going to be a big year where there's going to be a lot of changes, and there's going to be a need to be very adaptable, to be very flexible. Okay, there's going to be a need to be ready to release and end things. It's going to be a year of shedding your skin, because if you follow Chinese astrology, then this is the year of the wood snake, right? And so serpent energy, snake energy on one level is also, it's reiterating that theme that the number 9, when you look at the year 2025 coming to the number 9, what that signifies and what that symbolizes The serpent kind of also symbolizes that same energy because they go through a metamorphosis and they shed their skin. So it deals with ending. And the number 9 also deals with endings, end of cycles. You think about the beginning. Numbers start with 1 and end at the number 9, and then starts back over again with 0 and then 1. So it deals with the end of things ending and needing to let things go, needing to shed that skin like the serpent sheds its skin, and it isn't dead. It goes through a cycle of rebirth. So the energy of the serpent, the energy of the snake, deals with rebirth. When you think of the serpent energy and even the number 9, I like to think that all odd numbers are very spiritual numbers to me. The odd numbers are more spiritual than even numbers. So the number 9 is a highly spiritual energy to that number, very, I would call, mystical energy, and the energy of like the shamanistic energy dealing with that number 9, a very mystical, powerful, dynamic energy. If you wanted to tie that into dealing with the Orisha, the number 9 is connected to the Orisha Oya. And Oya is the goddess of transformation, right? The goddess of transformation, and she brings great change when she comes. She's connected to the element of the wind, and the element of wind being very changeable. And so her energy is going to be very strong this year as well. We saw that coming into the year with the destructive forces that came through, because the Oya is also, her energy deals with death. She is, they say that one of her homes is the funeral entrance, right? Near the entrance of the funeral and the funeral gate. After doing a lot of research, some will say her home is in the cemetery, but after doing more research, they, what was the deity that they gave? Shoot, I can't think of her name right now. But they were saying that Oya's home is not in the cemetery, that her home is at the gate of the cemetery. So she also deals with death. She's the deity that comes when you pass on, and she helps the person make the transition into the ancestral realm. So she does deal with death. Her energy deals with death when you come in. And so we did see the destructive force that Oya can bring with her, and that with the number 9 can bring death and endings as well, because death is a ending. But also on a symbolic level, meaning things will need to end, or things will change from endings, and from those endings come new beginnings, and that's the rebirth to the energy of number 9. That is the rebirth to the energy of the serpent, which is going to be really important this year. So there's going to be some major shifts astrologically with a lot of the generational planets this year. We know that the generational planets don't change signs as often, so they tend to affect us more on a generational level. It's less on a personal level, but I'm going to talk about that this year, as well as we got the nodes shifting place. So let's start with that. So the nodes, the north and south node, and for those of you who are not familiar with what the nodes are not actually astrological bodies or anything like that. They're not planets or anything, or asteroids. What they are is a mathematical location based on the movement of the moon. They're lunar nodes. So the north node deals a lot with your destiny and your fate. And the south node deals more with your karmic past and the karmic lessons and the karmic baggage that you brought with you from a previous lifetime that you agreed to work on in this lifetime, right? So the north node is a little more karmic, a little more Saturnian energy to the south node, and the north node is more about your destiny and your fate, and also how your destiny and fate is connected to your interactions with other people, how connecting with other people and having interactions with other people are fated. So like fated meetings with people, and meeting with kindred spirits and souls. So the nodes have shifted. Last year, the nodes were in, the north node was in Aries and the south node was in Libra. And so the nodes stay in the sign that they're in for roughly 16 to 18 months, right? So at the beginning of this year, the nodes shifted place and they moved into, so the north node is currently in Virgo, and the south node is currently in Pisces. So, no, I'm sorry. I got it backwards. It's the opposite way. The North Node is in Pisces, right? Because the wheel is going backwards with the nodes. So the sign that comes before Aries is Pisces. So I'm sorry, the North Node, I had to correct myself as I misspoke. I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. That's the wrong direction. So the North Node is in the sign of Pisces, and the South Node is in the sign of Virgo, because the nodes are going to always be in opposite signs. So what does that mean? Basically, when we look at the North Node and it deals with destiny and fate, there's going to be a lot of destiny and fate and events and things connected to the energy of Pisces. Pisces is the 12th house. It deals also with death. It deals with endings. It also deals with mysticism and beliefs. Pisces says, I believe. So there's going to be a lot of mystical connections, spiritual even connections this year that you'll make with other people. There's going to be a lot of inspiration from the spiritual realms, from that creative, mystical void that Pisces sit in. There may also be, in making choices, you may feel some ambivalence this year in making choices, because Pisces energy is the two fish and they're going in opposite directions. So there may be some indecision or ambivalence, right, in the beginning, and trying to figure out which way to go. This is going to be a year where there's going to be a need to really connect with the spirit. There's going to be a lot of predestined events that are of a mystical nature that are going to help you spiritually evolve, because the energy of Pisces is also connecting with your inner spiritual, with the inner spiritual energy, going into that creative void, receiving that inspiration. And Pisces is also very artistic. So this is going to be a big year where you're going to see a lot of spiritual things involved in art. You'll see kind of like when that year when they had the that ball and it was all about religion and everybody wore all these religious icons. Like, you're going to see a strong spiritual inspiration coming over this year. Now, the South Node being in Virgo, Virgo being about our health. So this is going to be a year where if you have some hidden health issues, some things that you have not been dealing with, this is going to be the year where those things are going to start coming to the surface. So you're going to want to focus on your health, because Virgo rules the 6th house. It deals with your health. It also deals with how you're in service to other people. And so this will also pull people into service to other people based on past life, previous commitments, obligations, or work that you did not complete from a past life. And now you're required to be in service to other people. So this could be through your work. It could be through volunteering. It could be like with me. I'll give you an example. So my nodes are, my North Node is in Virgo, and my South Node is in Pisces. So this is a conjunction for my nodes, but they're opposite. So you see how this is the year that Spirit puts me back out to be motivated by Spirit, based on spiritual destiny, to connect with other people through social media, getting on YouTube, and how that spiritual destiny is connected to other people and how it's going to help us spiritually evolve. So this is me being very much so in alignment with my own spiritual destiny based on timing, because for me, astrology is a very good indicator of timing and cycles and seasons. And if you know what cycle you're in, and you know what season you're in, and you understand the elemental forces that are at play in your life at that given time, and you understand how those forces impact you, you can better navigate life. You can alleviate certain hardships. You can avoid certain things. You can enhance the positive things. You can take advantage of fortuitous cycles, and cycles of luck or abundance or good fortune, or cycles, when you can better align with your goals and how to manage those, and look at things that could be a little less fortuitous. It could be more auspicious things. There could be some challenges that are going to be coming your way, but you can be prepared for them. And I promise you, being prepared for things will always help you better navigate those things. So that's why I like to always consult astrology. And I think it's really important that we're at the beginning of the year. It's really important for us to look at our natal charts. You want to study your natal chart. You just don't want to read it once. Some people look at their chart one time, look at it for a few days, Google a few things, and probably never take it off the shelf again. But for you to make the best use of it, think of your natal chart as your GPS. That's what I like to think of it as, your GPS for life. Just like now, you can't leave your house. Everybody's on their phone using their GPS to tell them how to get everywhere. Where your natal chart is going to tell you how to get to where you're trying to go. What is your destiny? What are your options? What is on your roadmap, and how to best navigate it to get to where you want to be? What is going to be the landmarks on the way to where you want to go? What events are likely to happen? How do you better navigate those events? How do you better make use of the natural gifts and abilities that you have? How to better align with your destiny so that you're feeling more fulfilled, because the more you're in alignment with your destiny, the more fulfilled you'll feel, and the less friction you will experience as you go through life. Yes, certain things are going to happen. You can't avoid everything. Certain obstacles you have to occur. Certain failures have to happen. But how you respond to those things is a difference between success and failure. It's a difference between growth and staying stunted. How you respond to these events. So you came into this lifetime and you agreed to make certain mistakes. Certain things are unavoidable. There are certain parts of your destiny and Ifa, and studying that, they believe are fixed and you cannot change them. There's other parts of your destiny that you can change, that are mutable and can be changed based on, first of all, consciousness, knowing, and action. So if you make certain actions and you do certain things, you get a certain outcome. If you choose different if you make different decisions and take different actions, you get a different outcome, right? So there's certain things that we can enhance experiences in our lives. I'll give you an example. Jupiter, right? Jupiter cycles are usually very fortuitous. So your Jupiter return, or when Jupiter is conjunct your sun, these are times that you want to plan to take advantage of them, okay? So just an example. So the nodes have changed places. So that's going to affect us on a larger level. But if you're a Pisces or a Virgo, this is going to be a big year where there's going to be a lot of events going on in your life. You're going to feel like somebody has kind of tapped you on the shoulder and said, it's time to go. That's kind of what the energy will feel like for you. Other than that, you're going to want to look at your natal chart and see where your nodes are and see how they're going to be impacting your destiny, your fate, and what part of the karmic baggage that you agreed to work through in this lifetime and how you'll be working on it. So also, we're getting ready to have our first Mercury retrograde of the year. So Mercury's going to be going retrograde March 15th to April the 7th. And it's going to be going retrograde in the sign of Aries, and then it's going to move back into Pisces. So how is this likely to impact us? Well, Aries rules the first house, and that's the house that says I am. It deals with the ego. It deals with the self, right? And that Aries energy is like taking action. So with Mercury there in Aries, this could be a time where there could be there could be a lot of arguments or friction, okay? This is going to be a time where whenever the planets go retrograde, so you want to review, revisit, you want to add to everything. So this is going to be a time where you're going to be revisiting maybe past issues that could have dealt with early childhood things that affect your belief systems, how they affect your personality and how you see yourself as an individual, because Aries is about the individual. And so Mercury is very self-reflective when it's retrograde, and it deals with how we think. It deals with the mind and how we communicate. So this is going to be a time where you want to be very mindful of your communications, because with that Aries energy, Aries is the warrior. So it can create a lot of hostility, a lot of blow-ups on the negative end. Retrogrades tend to sometimes create those anyway because communication issues. But with Aries there, Aries is ready to fight. Aries is ready to pop off, And with this kind of already combative kind of energy, because that number 9 energy, when we think about the goddess Oya, Oya is also known as a petrol deity, so fire, hot, you know what I'm saying? She's also a warrior, you know, ready to pop off. So you just want to be mindful of that energy. You probably don't want to start new projects during any retrograde, but especially Aries, because that Aries energy deals a lot with how we take action on things. So your energy level may feel low during that time. People's words and actions may not be in alignment because of the retrograde energy. So they may be saying one thing, doing another, because Aries is about what you do, you know, doing things. Aries like to do things. They're that aggressive, kind of passionate, but that passion can also be anger. So it can stroke the fires and kind of create that anger, that fiery, hot energy. And the Orisha Oya, she also is known to spit fire. So she's also connected with fire in that way. So that kind of volatile, combative energy kind of popping off. So that's going to be at the beginning of the year. Once it moves back into Pisces, it's going to start to take an emotional, self-reflective energy where there may be, you know, a lot of emotional stuff that comes up, and you may begin to think about unhealed past emotional pain. There may be a need for you to kind of take that step back during this retrograde, and especially when it moves into Pisces, because Pisces energy is about going into the void and kind of being in that zen place, in that quiet place, and connecting with spirit during that time. So you want to do a lot of meditations once Mercury moves back into Pisces. That's going to be a good time for meditation. That's going to be a good time to receive spiritual messages, do your spiritual cleansings, and especially your baths, because that Pisces energy is water energy. So doing your baths are going to be really good during this time to help you stay clear. You're going to work on mental clarity during that time. It's not a good time to make major decisions during Mercury retrograde. It's not a good time to sign contracts, because Mercury governs all of those things, and he's known to be the trickster. So he tends to create problems, setbacks, delays, people not in contracts. You know, they like, you know, caveat emptor when they tell you get ready to buy a house, buyer beware, you know what I'm saying? So it's a time where if you have to sign a contract, if you're in a business or industry that requires you to sign contracts, and you can't really just say I'm not going to sign a contract for 3.5 weeks while Mercury's retrograde and then take time for the shadow period, I would say cross your T's, dot your I's, do your due diligence, you know, fact check everything out. If you must sign a contract, an agreement, a rental agreement, a employment agreement, you know what I'm saying? You want to kind of check it out and make sure everything's on the up and up, because this is a time where things could go wrong, you know, Murphy's Law. So things could go wrong. That's kind of how Mercury is working when he's in more of the trickster phase or energy. Venus is going to be going retrograde this year too, March 1st through April 12th. Okay, Venus will be going retrograde, and it'll also be in the sign of Aries. So Venus is the planet of love. She's the planet that deals with fertility. She also deals with wealth, and she's known more to be of a feminine energy when we talk about masculine and feminine energies. Now, Venus as a planet has this ability to where she can be hot or cold, because there's part of the year where Venus rises in the morning and she's known as the morning star, and then for the other half of the year she rises in the evening and she's known as the evening star. So she can be hot or cold, her temperament. So her energy in Aries is going to be in a hotter temperament, but it's going to be retrograde. This retrograde will be during the same time that Mercury will be retrograde in the sign of Aries. So expect there to be issues with love and relationships. There could be, like, again, those hot, heated issues, problems, combative issues. You know, I would hate to say it, there could be some domestic violence problems, or some people putting their hands on people, because again, Aries is the warrior and it likes to fight. And, you know, there could be war of words kind of thing going on as well. With this Venus and Aries energy, be careful of short-lived, hot romantic relationships starting and ending during this time. There may also be old lovers coming back, because whenever Venus goes retrograde, she brings back old lovers. So people from your past, be careful of that, because Mercury will be retrograde too. And remember, I said people will be saying things and doing other things, so their words and their actions not being in alignment. So you want to be mindful of that as well. This would be a good time to work on healing. relationship issues. These issues are going to be about, when we talk about healing, this is going to be more about healing from the first house, which is the energy of Aries, because opposite to Aries, or opposite to the first house, is Libra, which is a Venus ruled sign, and it deals with love. So it's talking about working on your self-identity, and how much your self-identity and your sense of self affects your relationships, affect your love life and your relationships in general. So, and how early childhood experiences tend to shape our self-identity, and what things do we need to heal while Mercury is going to be in Pisces during this time. Once it moves there, what things do we need to heal with that Piscean energy? What emotional things, even things that are affecting us on an emotional level, what spiritual things can we do to help us to heal those things? It's going to be the theme of how you can best deal with those challenges. Now, if you're Aries, obviously this is going to affect you more than other people. If you're a cardinal sign, so that's going to be Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer are going to be most impacted by the Venus retrograde, and other fire signs, so that would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. What else is happening, y'all? So Neptune is going to be moving into the next sign. So Neptune had been in Pisces, and now it's getting ready to move in Aries. This is going to be a lot of Aries energy, y'all. A lot of Aries energy. I'm a little scared of it right now thinking about it, because that's a lot of hot energy. So we're going to put Neptune there. Neptune is like the rose-colored glasses. It deals with mysticism. It deals with spirituality. It deals with self-sabotaging. Now, it'll be in a sign of Aries. Aries is about the energy of, again, taking action. Let's get things done. Aries is the baby of the zodiac, so it's the start of things, how we start things. So this is going to be a year where people are going to be starting things that are going to be inspired from a spiritual place. They may be even starting on new spiritual paths during this time, feeling very connected spiritually to take action. So things maybe that they've been dreaming about, because Neptune is a very dreamy kind of energy. So some of your dreams or things that you have been planning, or inspiration that you receive, is going to really pull us forward. I feel like too, with this Aries energy with Neptune, this is going to be a time where there may be a need to be a little bit more discerning before we take action, because Neptune can be illusion. It can deal with illusions, and it can deal with self-sabotage too. So this is going to be a time where we're going to need to reevaluate how we may be self-sabotaging ourselves. And this may be, again, things connected to the ego, because Aries energy does deal with the ego. It deals with the self-identity. So there may be a need to kind of deal with that those are going to be probably some of the challenges with that Neptune energy being there. And also with that Neptune energy, Aries is the warrior. Aries is about taking actions and getting things done. So this may be a year where, if you're not as spiritually in tune, you may find it difficult to find your footing in the things that you take action in. There's going to be a need to make sure that you're aligned spiritually. Now, Neptune is going to stay here. It's going to move March 30th, and it's going to stay there until March 30th is going to stay there into March of 2039. So that's a long time. Remember, this is one of the generational planets. So it affects us as a generation, right? So this is going to have a long-term impact on us. And it doesn't have as much as an impact as the personal planets do, like Venus, like Mars, like Mercury. But it does have an impact us. So speaking of Mars, Mars is going to finally move out of its retrograde February the 23rd. It has been retrograde, and it's been retrograde in the sign. It started out in Leo, and then it moved into Cancer. So it has been in Cancer for a little while. So it's going to be coming out of its retrograde, but not before... No, I'm sorry. It will come out of its retrograde before Mercury goes retrograde. So that's going to be good. At least Mars will be... It'll still be in its shadow, but it will have come out of the retrograde. So that's going to be good, because Mars retrograde with all this Aries retrograde energy, that would not have been good. Okay, that would have been like the match that blew up the building. You know what I'm saying? That wouldn't have been good. So Saturn is going to move signs this year. So Saturn is a planet. It's known as the great Malphallic planet. And it deals with karma. It deals with work. It deals with duty. The things that we agreed to do. The lessons that we agreed to learn. Saturn places limitations on us, and it tends to restrict. It requires us to work. And if we work hard, then Saturn will give you a gift like Santa Claus. Okay. And Santa Claus, the whole mythology comes from Saturn and the worship of Saturn. So Saturn is going to be moving out of the sign of Pisces into the sign of Aries, okay? So Aries, this is going to be a year where you're going to have to work hard, where you may feel that you're being restricted in certain ways. With that Aries energy in general, Aries deals with authority figures, you know what I'm saying? As far as like people in the military, the police, stuff like that. So this may be a time too, especially with Saturn there, where there may be issues with authority figures through this next 2 years. You want to be mindful of that, because Saturn tends to bring sometimes more of the Malphallic, you know, it could be a little bit darker planet at times. And so Saturn can be a difficult taskmaster. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a year where there's going to be a lot of focus on working on, again, self-identity. And Saturn deals with the foundation of things. It deals with the structure of things. Saturn also deals with the patriarchal energy as well, and more so with the father energy. So when we think about Aries, we're thinking about our self-identity, who we feel that we are. It says that I am. So this is going to be a time where issues with the ego or your self-identity, issues that deal with karmic work that you have to complete in this lifetime, or work that you need to do for yourself and on yourself, Saturn will give you consequences during this time. So there's going to be a lot of focus on taking action on rebuilding our self-identities. It's going to be a lot of looking at karmic baggage, because that karmic energy with Saturn, and also with certain work that we need to do. There's going to be a lot of things started under that Aries energy. So that fresh starts and new beginnings, people are going to feel inspired to take action on certain things. There may be a lot of movement with like military, with things that deal with combat, especially with this beginning energy, with all this kind of Aries energy at the beginning of the year with these retrogrades, and then moving with Saturn in Aries again in the first house. You know, we're going to be mindful of that. We don't want to, this could be a year where, you know, some old wars are regenerated, where things that, you know, from the past that weren't completed kind of blow over into new issues, okay? Because that's like the downside of that Aries energy, people ready to fight for something, right? So we already talked about the North Nodes. So just want to quickly talk about how can you best align with the energy and the frequency of this year successfully, because the more that we align with the frequency of the year, the less challenges we experience, the better we navigate the challenges that we do experience and can avoid. The better advantage we can take over potential opportunities and manifest more abundantly. Think about it as the difference between planting a garden and growing one bush of roses, and planting a garden and that bush triples and, you know, quadruples, and you have this giant, you know, garden of flowers, right? It could be the difference between how your year will manifest, how abundantly things will manifest. So aligning with that frequency, first of all, knowing what it is so that you know how to align with it. So we're talking about the number 9. We're talking about needing to be changeable, flexible, movable, ready to let things go, ready to end things. Sometimes it's hard to let certain things go. Sometimes it's difficult to know what to end or what to keep or what just needs to change. Sometimes it's difficult to be flexible when you're carrying a lot of negative, toxic energy, whether it's emotional, whether it's spiritual, you know, or wherever direction that energy has come to you, we're carrying certain things with us. So one of the most important things I think to do under a 9 year, especially with that snake energy, with the Chinese year, We want to do a lot of cleansing work. You want to do a lot of cleaning work. You want to do a lot of things to make sure that your roads are open spiritually. You want to do a lot of things to make sure that any blockages that are there are removed. So you want to do a lot of blockbuster work. You obviously want to work a lot with the Orisha Oya if you work with the Orishas. If you do not work with the Orishas, then I would say work with a lot of Scorpio energy, because Scorpio on a higher level is the snake, is the serpent energy. And it deals with rebirth, and it deals with transformation, it deals with change energy. So you can work with the moon when it's in Scorpio. You can work when the sun is in the sign of Scorpio. You can bring in the Scorpio glyphs that are used and put them on your candles and on your altars and make sigils with them. Do meditations on those sigils is another way to draw that serpent energy to help you be able to shift and to kind of go into that mystical place and align with the spirit of that energy. Because the serpent energy in this year too is going to be a lot about healing, because serpent and snake energy is very healing energy. It's very mystical, spiritual, shamanic healing energy. So getting your Reiki done is going to be really important this year. Doing your yoga, making sure that you drink your spiritual teas and take your spiritual baths. It's going to be really important to help you stay in alignment and to help you to release the things that need to be released, whether it's emotional things, whether it's spiritual things. You want to get your spiritual readings and look at your natal chart. I highly recommend that at the beginning of every year. If you only look at your natal chart once a year, you should definitely do it at the beginning of the year and look forward at, okay, these are how the planets are moving. This is how they're going to impact me. This is what house I'm in right now as far as that year. Because every year on your birthday, you are focused. There's a focus that shifts from one house to the next. So you want to know what house that is. What is your perfection year? What is your perfection? I would talk about the house. What number is it? What planet is over that house? It's going to tell you the theme that you're going to be dealing with for the next 12 months of your birthday. So that's good to understand that so that you can plan ahead, okay? If you can see certain things, you can plan and do certain rituals, or spiritual work can be done. That's another way to also change your destiny. Remember, certain things in our destiny can be changed. Spiritual work, magic. Magic to me simply means change. So doing spells, doing magic, doing rituals, that helps to create change in your life so that you can change your destiny. If you don't like what you're seeing and Spirit says yes, if you can do Ebo and Ifa, which means offering, you can do work, offerings to Spirit, or work with a certain Orisha, or work with a certain spirit, or do a certain offering or a spiritual working, and it can help to avoid or soften certain things. That is also very advantageous. So that's what getting spiritual readings at the beginning of the year. So getting a tarot or spiritual reading, getting your astrology reading at the beginning of the year is also very good, so that you can personally know what spirit message has for you, and how do I best face the challenges, and how do I take best advantages of the opportunities. Another thing that you can do is by working with certain crystals. So this year with that serpent energy, you can work with stones that have the word serpent in it, like serpentine and alanasite. Those are known to, I have to believe alanasite also has serpentine in it. But any stone that has the word serpent in it, there's another one, snake, agate, snake skin, agate is another serpent stone. But you want to get these stones because they carry that serpent energy within it, and it will help you align with it. It will help you to transform. It will help you to calibrate your frequency to match that frequency, so that it'll help you, make the shifts and the changes that you need to, and connect with the spirit in the way that you need to. So working with certain stones is going to help you do that. Let's see what else. You want to also make sure you ground your energy a lot this year, because we're going to be releasing a lot of things. And sometimes a lot of what we need to release, I'm going to promise you, there's a physical weight to it. There's a physicality to it. There's a process to it. So one thing that I learned the more that I did Reiki and shamanic work is that when people are carrying a lot of trauma, or they're carrying a lot of emotional or mental or spiritual baggage, that weighs them down on a physical level. So there's a need to put it somewhere. So grounding your energy, connecting with Mother Earth, and imagining that just imagine there's a stream of energy radiating out of you, coming through the body, out through your feet, connecting with the ground, connecting with the element of earth in other ways as well, going on walks and stuff. It's really good to help you to release the things when you do it with the intention, because intention is important. Magic begins when we intend. When you set the intention, magic begins, and I promise you, one of the most important ingredients in your spiritual work and the success of your spiritual work is setting strong intentions. It's like turning on the light magically that illuminates and gives the work that you're doing the energy that it needs to manifest. So once you set that intention that, okay, I'm going to go outside and release energy, and imagine that. Go out and hug you a tree if you got to, because you need to release this energy. So it's going to be really important to do things to release, okay? There may be other things that you can do. People are creating things all the time, and I learn about new spiritual practices and treatments every day. You know, EFT, where to do the tapping, and it helps you to release things that way. Getting your massages, getting your, I like to get what's called Qigong massages, which is more like almost like they're like doing wrestling moves on you. It hurts so good. Like it's a little painful, but in a good way, but it really does help you, because also physically within our body, within your tissues, you're also holding on to energy. This is why you start getting backaches and feeling stiff and, you know, things like that, and things physically start going wrong with you on a physical level, because we are also carrying that trauma and that negative energy in the physical body, in the tissue and things in our body. So getting those massages and letting them twist your body and stretch your body and different things helps to release that physically and spiritually. So doing both really works well. And I promise you, there's times where I felt like my whole body was aching. I had to go and start getting those massages, and it was amazing. Especially if you do a lot of spiritual work, or if you do work for other people, you want to make sure to take out the time for self-care. This is going to be a big year of self-care, okay? Meditation, finding a quiet space is going to be really important this year. If you're not good at meditating, do it for as long as you can, okay? The more you do it, the longer you'll be able to do it over time. Just keep trying. Let's see, what else did I write here? This is going to be a year where you're going to want to work on your root chakra and your sacral chakra a lot. You're going to want to do things that require you to move in circular movement, bend, twist. So yoga would be a really good thing to do. Stretching would be a good thing to do. If you could do like belly dancing or just other things, Qigong would be good to do. But you want to really open the sacral chakra and the root chakra this year, okay? Because that is where we store a lot of energy. That is where we store a lot of trauma. And we're going to need to release that stuff this year, because that is a lot of what is holding us down, and it's stored in that root chakra. And also because this is going to be a year where it's going to be a lot of Kundalini activation with that snake energy and that 9 energy, which, if you think about the number 9, if you take it, kind of looks like a snake that's coiled at one end. So the energy of that number 9 is going to really help to activate a lot of Kundalini energy. And so we know the Kundalini is stored in the root chakra, and one of the first places that kind of begins to block its ascension is the sacral, because we're carrying a lot of emotional stuff there. That's where we hold our emotional energy in our sacral chakra. It's ruled by the moon, and you know the moon deals with our emotions. So you want to open that up. Reiki is a good, powerful tool for that. Your massages are going to be good for working on the root chakra and the sacral chakra too. Obviously, healthy sex is going to be a good thing for working on that sacral chakra. It's going to help to open the chakra up as well. Let's see what else I got here. Lots of cord cutting work, okay? Whether you're going to do it with Reiki, because there's a way to cut cords through Reiki, whether you're going to be doing candle work or other forms of work, but you want to do a lot of cord cutting work, because a lot of times we have attachments to people, to energies, could even be to places, could even be to entities, okay? But you want to cut those cords, because this is going to be a year where it's going to be a lot of pressure to change. It's going to be a lot of pressure to let things go and to end things. So that may create a lot of resistance if you have a lot of attachments that you haven't cut. And you may notice, like, one way to know that maybe you need to cut attachments, especially like if you're trying to leave a relationship and you haven't been able to do it, and you know that you need to leave, but you feel so emotionally attached to the person, you keep getting pulled back. You probably have some strong cords and attachments to that person, and you need to cut them. Sometimes you can be attached to an energy, to like almost a cycle of energy where you're stuck in this kind of paradigm of energy, this conglomerate of energy, and you need to begin to cut cords from that so that you can shift out of that energy, out of that cycle. One way to know too is that you start feeling depleted of energy. You notice that things in your life start to dwindle. You may, because the connections a lot of times, depending upon where you're connected, but a lot of stuff connects a lot to the sacral, to the solar plexus energy. You may notice that your finances start to get stifled, or you may feel low on energy. You may feel unbalanced or unfocused, okay? You may notice that once you connect with a certain person, that there was almost a reversal of fortune, where you may have been doing well, or things may have been flowing well for you, and then you notice that there's this reversal of fortune, and instead of you benefiting, now you seem to be taking a downward spiral, and your finances is one area that you will see it in. If not the finances, it'll be in your health, it'll be in your energy, and you will feel depleted, okay? And sometimes if you have a lot of connections to a lot of people, maybe you work in large groups, or maybe, because connections aren't always sexual, they can be, you work with someone and you work with them so much you have strong mental connections to them. And I'll say something else, you don't ever know how people are connecting to you. You don't never know what people is doing at home. Somebody's sitting up thinking about you, masturbating to you, things like that. That can make a connection to you on a spiritual level more than you would realize, okay? And that person being connected to you in that way, or if you work in groups of people, or if you have a lot of social friends and you're trying to leave, let's just say, for instance, you know you're in a group of people that you no longer need to be in that people, and you're doing certain things. Cutting cords will help you leave that people, leave those bad habits behind, and also clear your energy so that you can move forward. Sometimes people are trying to hold you back. This is another thing. And so if they have strong attachments to you, it make it easier for people, like they say, I got my hooks in you. Well, sometimes spiritually, that's what a Reiki practitioner or somebody who can see spiritual energy sees. They see like a hook, because some people literally and truly hook into you like a crab or a parasite, where they have clawed into you, and it hurts to release that person. Like, no matter how bad they are to you, no matter how horrible the conditions are, it could be at work. Like I said, you never know what people are doing behind closed doors. You never know what kind of energy work people are doing with their mind, with their words, or how far people are taking it. Now people taking it to the candles, and they're taking it to, you know, the ritual level, the spell level, since spirituality has, and metaphysics and things have become more popular, and it's become more trendy, and we have social media and all of that. People are kind of willy-nilly out here throwing spells at you, so you really don't know what people are doing to you. So that's another thing you want to do this year. Cover your ass, protect yourself. Lots of protection work, because this is a 9 year. So sometimes 9 can come with challenges, because those changes and those endings can be difficult in any year. I highly recommend, people always say to me, what kind of work should I be doing? Well, the most important thing you can do is you want to protect yourself. You want to cover your ass, because there's all types of things going on spiritually. The first spell people cast is with their words. That's why they call it spelling, because you are literally casting a spell with your words. Some people have power in the tongue that they call ashe in the Yoruba tradition, and that ashe can bless you or it can curse you. Some people have the tongue to curse. They call it ipi, and you can curse people with your tongue. Some people only speak vile things, and they talk negatively of you, and the next thing you know, you want to know why you lose your job, or why you have a car accident, or why you fall sick. It's because that person, whether they are aware of it or not, have power in their tongue and are speaking against you and are casting spells against you. So the need to protect yourself is so important. You never know who don't like you, who smiles in your face, talks behind your back. You know, if you're in a work environment, it can become very highly competitive. In work environments, you never know what people are doing to get ahead. In love and relationships, it becomes even more competitive, and you never know what people will do to get love or take somebody from you. Over the years, I've heard stories and seen things and had people ask me to do things that I wouldn't do. But people are willing to, for love, sometimes they feel like all is fair in love and war, and they'll do anything, and they'll cast spells against you. I'm just giving you examples of what you need to protect yourself from. And also, just living life, okay? There are spirits, there are spiritual forces, as the Bible says. We don't fight against, we fight against municipalities and wickedness in high places, okay? So there are spiritual forces that are at play, and there is also spiritual warfare that is at play. And again, we don't know who's praying against us. We don't know what spirits that we may cross as we ingress and egress in buildings and places and travel and whatnot. You want to protect yourself. The more you protect yourself, I promise you, things in your life, you'll live a much more peaceful life, a safer life, and you can avoid things, okay? And if you can't avoid them, you can soften the blow of things, okay? Protecting yourself is super important. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull a couple cards, and I'm going to keep it to the element because I don't think I want to do the different signs yet, but I'm going to keep it to the elements. And that way we can look at what energy do we need to be aware of for 2025. And I'm going to start with fire because that's what came to my mind first. I'm going to start with fire elements. That's going to be Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. What do we need to know about 2025? What is the energy for us? Okay. What do we most need to know? Us fire signs. With all this hot Aries energy going retrograde next year, I'm not looking, well, this year, I'm not looking forward to that part of it. But good, I'm not an Aries, because Mercury, he gonna see me at the end of this year, though, so let me not talk. He's gonna become retrograde Sagittarius at the end of the year, so I have to look forward to that, if one can look forward to a Mercury retrograde. Oh, let's see. So I'm also going to pull just one card from the Orisha deck that I have here. And this is the same question for us fire signs. Ooh. These long braids, I almost pulled the braid out. It's about time for me to get them done over. I just hate to take them out and go sit in a chair and then have my hair hurt for 2 or 3 days, but what we do for beauty. So the positive thing about Venus going retrograde is that I'm going to tell you this trick too. This is a good year if you are the type of person who likes to estate shop, if you like to go to resale shops, if you like to go to thrift stores. This is a year where they say when Venus is retrograde, Venus deals with beauty and value, right? Because Venus rules Taurus. Taurus says I value. So Venus deals with value and beauty. And when Venus is retrograde, people tend not to know the value of what they have. So this is where you'll go to the garage store, the garage sale, and find a rare painting that these people don't know is a rare painting. You take it and get it appraised at the Antique Road Show, and they tell you it's worth $50,000. You know, I mean, that's extremely advantageous, but I'm just saying it could be something smaller. But this is a good year to find good deals and to get things of higher value for lesser money when Venus is retrograde. All right, so I pulled just a few cards because I'm going to try to get through all the 4 elements in this video. So I pulled 3 from the Rider-Waite deck and 1 from my Orisha. Show you the deck. The Orisha Tarot deck. And so the first card we have here is the 6 of Cups, and it was reversed. Now the 6 of Cups reversed, especially within the beginning of this year, speaking of Venus going retrograde, this is like the epitome of what this card represents on one level. So sometimes this represents a lover from the past, nostalgia, somebody from the past that may come back. Okay, so fire signs, you may be having a blast from the past. Okay, somebody may be coming back from the past, or you may be thinking about someone from the past, or someone may be thinking about you. So you got to think about how this plays out. There's also going to be a time where this may be an area where you need to heal. There may be some things from a previous relationship that you have left unhealed that you may need to also work on this year. Why am I saying that? Because the theme card is the Eight of Waters, right? And this is also known as the Eight of Cups in the Rider-Waite deck. And it deals with leaving things in the past, leaving a lot of emotional pain, baggage, a lot of emotional stuff in the past, and moving on emotionally, moving forward, letting that stuff go. And this kind of feeds back into what I was saying about the theme of this year, needing to shed skin, needing to end things, especially in the beginning of the year with that Piscean energy. Once Mercury moves retrograde back into Pisces, that's a very Piscean kind of energy there, where again, needing to release emotional things from the past. So the next card, I'd like to see this is the Ace of Wands. So fire signs, you're very likely to beginning things. It's going to be a new project that you're going to be starting, something that you're going to be passionate about. It could be a new love relationship, but it could also be something passionate or inspiration, something that you do. This is new actions that you're going to be taking. So you're going to be starting something new, putting energy into something new. And it's going to bear fruit, because you see the little leaves here. Now some of the leaves are falling, so I feel like there's going to be some things that you're going to start and it's going to kind of fall by the wayside, but there's going to be some things that stick. Okay, so here we also have the World card, which deals with the completion of a cycle, right? It deals with success. So this is a year where you're going to be clear. So the things that you start, you're going to be completing it. It also could be that some things that you had started previously that you didn't finish, you'll be completing this year. Okay, that's another way this could be going on. Also a lot of success for fire signs in this year, so that's also good. But there's going to be a very neat focus on work, because the World card has a Saturn energy in it, and that deals with needing to work. So there's going to be a focus on work as well, things you're going to be working on, but these are going to be things that are going to be bringing you success. And with that success, there are going to be certain responsibilities as well. Okay, also what I'm feeling as I look at this card, as you're going to be protected this year. It's like that reef around you is like a certain amount of protection that you're going to be having for this year as well. You may even be focused that maybe you have placed that reef around you and said, you know what, I'm going to make sure I protect myself this year. That might be one of the things that I'm feeling like you want to make sure that you do this year too. But I feel like you're going to be successful. That's going to be something that you want to do, though, is put boundaries, is what I feel too, like the need to put boundaries up around you, or boundaries up with someone as well. That may be the focus of this year, where you need to put up boundaries. Okay, hold on, I didn't drop this card. Okay, so let's do air signs. What does air sign need to know for 2025? What is the energy going to be like for air signs? Air is going to be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Now, Gemini, you still got a little time this year, because Jupiter will be there until June of 2025, and then it's going to move into Cancer. So take advantage of this cycle of growth, this cycle of gift giving and good fortune and synchronicity that you experienced this year. It'll be moving into Cancer soon. It'll stay there for 12 months. Aquarius, we know that Pluto has moved into your sign, so Pluto will be doing what Pluto does: destroy, tear down, and build back up. So there's going to be some areas of your life that are going to be torn down. There may be some things that are dug up. Okay, Pluto tends to do that too. He'll go under the surface and find flaws, issues, problems, hidden things, bring it up to the surface so it can be dealt with. Right, so what is the energy for my air signs for 2025? What do they need to know? All right. right, so we got the World card back out again for my air signs. Okay, we'll start with your thing card this time. So we have the Four of Swords reversed. So the Four of Swords is a card of conflict, okay? So there's going to be some type of conflict that you're going to be dealing with this year, air sign, okay? It's reversed, so I feel like this may be something that you are revisiting, but there's some type of conflict that you're in, some type of, if you look at this person, he's like laid out and there's like these birds, they almost look like vultures, but it looks like they're picking him clean. So this may be a year where somebody is trying to take something from you, or something that may be a part of the conflict that you experience. But I also see here there'll be a need to defend yourself in this year for some reason, okay? So you got the World card, so you will be completing a lot of things this year. There'll be an end of cycle, and for some of you there will be success if you can overcome this conflict. It's reversed, so I don't think it's going to be a big thing because it's reversed, but there's going to be something this year, okay? We got the Hermit card. That's the Virgo energy card. So that deals with being alone. So air signs, part of the conflict may require you to be alone. The Hermit card is also saying some of you may be going back to school or obtaining wisdom or knowledge. You may be doing more reading or more studying, okay? More solitude this year, okay? A need to be in solitude. For some of you, there is a need to study, to go back to school, to take a class, things like that. Also with the Hermit card, and or the need to consult someone else, okay? Someone else's wisdom, an elder. Could be important too this year. That may be important too with helping you resolve this conflict. You may need to, I feel like, because this falls right under the conflict card, the Four of Swords, there may be a need for you to consult someone or to obtain some knowledge to help you resolve the conflict that you're experiencing this year. And then we have the Knight of Wands here reversed. Now the Knight of Wands is like a hasty energy where people are like rushing in. So I feel like you may feel or want to rush into something, but this is almost like a warning saying don't do that. That's what I'm really feeling here. It's almost like a warning. Don't rush into things this year, okay? This is going to want to be your year where you make wise decisions. And if you have to consult someone else, get somebody else's viewpoint, don't hastily run into things this year, okay? Because the Knight of Wands runs in hot and fast, but it's reversed, okay? Also, too, if you look at this, this represents the need to complete some things. So this is also saying don't rush through the things that you're completing this year. The things that you're bringing to end or completion or working on this year, don't rush through those things either, okay? This is not, because air can be fast-moving energy, right? Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, you know, that's fast-moving energy. Don't rush things this year, okay? You'll do better with whatever this conflict is. All right, so let's do water. So what is the energy in 2025 for my water signs? And water will be Cancer, it'll be Scorpio, and it'll be Pisces. Now Cancer, starting in June, Jupiter will be moving in your sign, and it'll be staying there for 12 months. Jupiter is the sign of expansion and growth. It's the sign of synchronicity and good luck. Okay, so Jupiter is known as Jove, and it's the great benefactor, which means it tends to bring us gifts. You'll notice that you may receive gifts during this time, opportunities, things may kind of fall into your lap a little bit. It's a time of potential success, and Jupiter deals with wealth. So this can be a fortuitous time for you if you take advantage of it. Now, there's a warning, a caveat to Jupiter when Jupiter visits you, when it makes a return to your home where Jupiter is in your chart, or when it's conjunct like your sun. Don't take on too much, because that's the negative aspect of Jupiter. Jupiter deals with excesses, going too far, doing too much, taking on too much. You can put too much on your plate with Jupiter. You can go too far your Jupiter energy, okay? It's also a time where they say Jupiter can also put weight on you, so you're going to be mindful of that, okay? But take advantage of this cycle. If you've had business ideas, things you've been thinking about doing, and you wonder, when would be a good time to do it, this is the year to do it. If you want to expand your business or evolve something in your life, this is the time to do it. If you wanted to even get on the stock market, or just whatever, however you feel so inspired to do, this is the time to take advantage of the gift-giving, expansive synchronicity, because that's another thing about Jupiter. He tends to bestow synchronicity. Jupiter energy is the Wheel of Fortune card. So Wheel of Fortune deals with timing, and it deals with being in sync with things. So sometimes Jupiter can bring us a lot of synchronicity that people would interpret as luck. Okay? So we have the air element here for us water babies. So when we think about the air element card here, this is almost like the Ace of Swords here. So there's going to be some new projects. You're going to feel inspired to do some things this year. Our water babies, okay, there's going to be a lot of inspiration. There's going to be a lot of creative mental energy this year for you. And maybe even some new projects, some things that will be successful. Also, though, this comes with the caveat again. Sometimes that Ace of Swords can bring a little bit of challenges as well, and a need to really stay focused. So Nine of Pentacles, this is a good energy card right here. It talks about work, talks about creating things and manifesting things. This is a card of fruitfulness and manifestation. It also talks about work and doing work for yourself. So there may be some things that you work on that is going to bring you money, and that's going to bring you things of value, okay? It could be that you start a business, or you're doing some type of work for someone, or something that you're working on, but it's going to manifest into financial success and wealth. And even if Jupiter even if you're not a Cancer, because it's in water, it's going to be in a positive aspect to your sun sign, and potentially it could help you with expanding and bringing in more wealth and things like that. The next card here is the Seven of Cups reversed. This is the card that says look before you leap. So some of these opportunities and things that are going to come up, you're going to want to be very discerning. This is where the air element right here. So you're going to want to think things through. You're a water sign, so you tend to go on emotions and go on what you feel intuitively. But there may be some illusions. There may be some traps. There may be some things that are misleading. It could be that you may not be seeing things clearly at times. So this is saying you want to be very discerning. You want to be very mindful. You want to cross your T's and dot your I's, and to look things over very closely this year. There could be someone trying to mislead you in some way, or you can make a decision that look at something and think on the surface this is a good opportunity, and it not be. So you just want to look deeper into situations. Don't take everything at face value this year, okay? So the last card right here is the Nine of Swords. And if you look at the card, the person they're worried, they can't sleep, they're stressed out. So I feel like there's going to be some things that are heavy on your mind during this year. There's, like I said, a lot of mental energy with the air card. There may be some things even that you are worrying about this year that you're going to need to work out, okay? I think also, too, this is a need for you with that Ace of Swords energy here, that air energy. You want to clear your mind. You want to do a lot of meditation. You may even want to do head cleansing, okay? Because this is talking about not being able to sleep, worrying a lot, feeling stressed a lot. There could be something that stresses you out, and it could be something in one of these cups right here. Because if you look, some of these cups got some jacked up stuff in here. Some of them has gold, but some of them have like this, I don't know, serpent looking dragon thing. Some of these things are not good. So I almost feel like whatever this is that you're gonna need, and I feel like I almost need to pull my card. Five of Swords. Conflict. So there's gonna be some kind of conflict with somebody. Maybe even some fighting with someone. Water signs. Okay, some kind of disagreement. And it's going to be weighing heavy on you. Okay. It's going to be weighing heavily on you mentally. Okay. But this card talks about, like, the person overcomes the conflict, but they have to put in some effort. Okay. And I feel like more than anything, it's going to affect you a lot mentally, whatever this is. The way that you internalize it. It's going to be a lot of things mentally. All right, so last but not least, let's do earth signs. And then I'm going to get my butt off of here. So what do my earth signs have to look forward to for 2025? And the earth signs would be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Well, Virgo, as I stated earlier, we've got, let's see, the South Node is in Virgo. So look forward to some things from your karmic past that you will need to work on this year, okay? These may be things related to your health. That's just a little shout out for Virgos. Capricorn, this year you may have a difficult time with expansion as well, because once Jupiter moves into Cancer in June, it will be in opposition to you. So just maybe a little bit of resistance here. So what is the energy for my earth signs? What do they need to know about 2025? And what is the energy? The Seven of Waters, or the Seven of Cups. That's interesting, because this is the same card from the other reading, but in a different deck. Because the Seven of Cups was just in the reading for water signs, and then earth signs get it, but in a different deck. So that's your theme card. All right, look before you leap. Okay, there could be some illusions, there could be some deception even this year, so you want to be careful with that. Okay, that I feel like what I'm seeing is like that Neptune energy and that Pisces energy. So that North Node in Pisces, everything has a negative aspect potentially, right? Or imbalance of energy. So that Piscean energy is like a mystical energy, but it's ruled by Neptune, so it can deal with illusion, deal with self-sabotage. Okay, so there could be some illusions around some things. You may have some preconceived notions about some things that are not based on fact. So you want to be just very mindful to be very discerning this year. Okay, you want to be very discerning. Also too, with the Seven of Cups reversed, and especially here with this, looking at the first card here, the 9 and the 10 of Wands here, being a year of release. There's a lot of stuff that you need to let go of that could be helping to create these illusions, or helping to kind of muddy the waters of your vision so that you're not seeing things clearly, because there could be some things that you're holding on to emotionally. There could be, even I'm feeling this just intuitively, there could be some spiritual work that you need to clear as well. Okay, but there's a lot that you've been carrying, a lot of burdens, things that you've been carrying with you for a while. It's time to let all that stuff go. This is going to be a year to do it. Ace of Swords to reverse is you breaking free, but it's reversed, right? So this is like a card that deals with clarity, deals with mental clarity and taking action and starting a new project, a new mental project, but it's reversed. So it's like there's something that you want to do, earth signs, but this year, this new project on a mental level, it's like you're going to have a hard time focusing until you can clear this baggage that you're carrying. It's going to give you clearer sight. Okay, so I feel like there may be some internal things that you need to clear that is actually creating this lack of vision, or this lack of clarity, or this lack of focus that you're going to be experiencing during certain parts of 2025. There's whatever this mental project, this thought, because everything has to come from a thought. Even when you build a business or you go build a house, it had to begin from a thought, and you had to take that thought and put it on paper and make it a blueprint to build a house. Or a building, you had to start it and think it out and write it out and create things with words and take the actions later. So they all begin, all new things start here from this Ace of Swords, your thoughts, and that inspiration that inspires the thoughts that we then take action on. So this is going to be a year where the more that you can let go of things from the past and things that you've been carrying, and maybe burdens. Maybe there could be some responsibilities that you have to let go of this year. There could be some things that you've been doing that you have to stop doing, because these are also Wands cards, and Wands are about our actions. So this could be a year where there's certain things that you were doing that you need to stop doing, let go of, release some of the burdens off of you, okay? Because whatever it is, it's weighing you down, it's holding you back, you feel overburdened, you felt overwhelmed about whatever this is. This is the year to free yourself from that thing. Next is the Page of Pentacles. Pages bring things. So this is a year where there may be some monetary things that are brought to you, opportunities that are presented to you. This also represents people, so there could be somebody playing a major role in this. This would be a younger person. They could be an earth sign, but they don't have to be. But this could be someone in particular that brings you an opportunity, that is going to manifest something. Now, it's not, whatever this is, you'll have to grow it, because it's one pentacle, right? So it's like you have this brainchild, you think about something, somebody comes along, they play a role in it, and supporting whatever that is, and it begins to manifest into something. But it's going to require you, in order for you to get this thing started, it's going to require for you to unburden yourself of some things so that you can have the mental focus that you need and connect with this person so that you can manifest. For some of you, it's the person you're connecting with. For others of you, this is just representing the manifestation of that thought, it manifesting into the physical, it materializing into the physical world. So you're going to be manifesting something this year. It's not going to be like the big garden of abundance, but it's going to grow into something that you can then multiply this year. But definitely need time to let go of earth. A lot of letting go and a lot of unburdening yourself. And earth signs, y'all tend to be the ones who like to work a lot. My Virgos, my Capricorns, you know what I mean? Y'all be working overtime, taking a lot of responsibilities. There may be a need to let some of that stuff go this year. All right, that's everything I have for you right now. So don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, and I'll be back this year periodically. You know me, I move with spirit. Whenever I feel like there's a message, I try to keep you up on the astrological stuff as we go out through the year. And I may even start doing some readings. Still trying to figure out what the content basis or foundation will be of this channel. But whatever it is going to be spiritual led. I'm always open to suggestions. So if you have any suggestions about content, you can send me a message. And don't forget, I still have my store, Enchanted Divas. It's enchanteddivas.com. I'll put the website in the description below. And